Good evening, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to Stampin' Up with Jamie. Thank you so much for watching. If you're catching this on replay, either on YouTube or on my blog, this is my Wednesday night Facebook Live tutorial. And I'm just gonna make sure I'm in the right spot, and then we'll get right into tonight. Let's see here. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. I wish I could. Hold on, I'm gonna play with this just a second. I'm sorry. I hope I don't make anyone dizzy. I just want to lower it a little bit. Ah. A while ago, I accidentally broke like the thing that holds the stand, and so hopefully my phone doesn't just completely drop one of these times. Knowing me, what'll happen. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. Tonight I am using the Timeless Tropical bundle. I'm using everything. So let me show you what that looks like. Here's the stamp set. Really fun, like Hawaiian, tropical images, as well as great sentiments. I love a great sentiment. I love that we have a birthday one, a thank you one, and a general one. Those are kind of like my go-to sentiments. So I love how this one kind of has it all. And it's different. It's kind of like a different stamp set than maybe our usual flowers or whatnot. I think it's just kind of fun, and you can definitely like do bright colors, bright themes. So I love this. And of course it does have a coordinating die set that goes with it. It is the Tropics dies. Okay. And this is what it comes with. I like how you can do some kind of standalone dies here without necessarily needing the stamp set. So we have like the pineapple here that I'm going to be using, kind of some standalone flowers, some standalone leaves, aloha, and then the tree and other images that kind of coordinate with these images and cut them out. So I just think that's super fun. That's okay, Roz. I can do that all the time. The worst is when you're like, sorry, autocorrect, and then you try and write it right, and it still keeps autocorrecting it wrong, and you're like, forget it, I'm done. So I'm kind of taking last week's cue, and I'm going to kind of switch things up just a little bit for tonight's card, and you can let me know which one you prefer. I'm going to, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, like 2 weeks in a row. You're going to be shocked. Are you ready for it? I'm using Daffodil Delight again. I'm going to try it. I don't know. I'll let you know. Of course, I can't find my bone folder. I'll let you know which one I like. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Oh, it's at the bottom of my drawer. There we go. Some weeks, I have my bone folder really ready to go, and I'm on top of it. And other weeks, I'm like scrambling for it. So I'm going to try tonight with a Daffodil Delight background. We'll be fine. It's okay. It's just yellow. It's not like the end of the world. You were just making card with that pineapple too. Oh, yay, Karen. You'll have to, I can't wait to see it. You have to show me. I've used this set a couple times, and I've always used not the pineapple. So I figured I would kind of give it a whirl and go for it and see how we make out. So let me walk you through. Here I have a panel of Sahara sand. Sahara or Sahara, I don't know which one you say, but it's the same. And this guy here measures 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And I'm going to mat him on a piece of Whisper White that's just 1/8 bigger. So it would be your, no, I better measure. I can't go by my brain. 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I'm going to use liquid glue because this, I guess I didn't tell you, but the embossing folder here has lots of texture to it. So sometimes I find the snail just doesn't quite hold it down permanently enough. Is that a word? Is that a phrase? So I like to either use like the tear and tape I'll use a lot, or sometimes just the straight up glue. This embossing folder here is, oh my goodness. I don't have anything out. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Coastal Weave embossing folder. I feel like the picture doesn't really do it justice as for how it looks and the texture in it, but it's got this great texture, and it's not like one solid like level I don't know how to say that. Like it's got like grooves in it. It's really like super 3D. Lots of like dips and grooves in it. So that's fun. And I didn't even get out my adhesive. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I feel a little off my game today. I had one child sick for home from school. I had another child have 4 13-year-old girls over working on a school project. So I apologize. I'm a little like, frazzled tonight. So this here, we're just going to adhere right onto our Daffodil Delight. Oh, that's a lot of yellow. It's 2 weeks in a row I'm going yellow. I don't even know what to make of it, honestly. Yes, I agree, Amy. I love this embossing folder. Because it's kind of like the Subtles one, like it's just enough texture, but it's not like overtaking the card. Oh yeah, that's true. It's like a wicker basket. That's a good way of saying it. But it's kind of hard to see, but they've got like these almost like little dots all through it. I don't know. It's super fun. So I'm taking some patterns. Oh gosh, hold on. From the... what's it called? Tropical Oasis Designer Series paper. For my sample card here, I'm using the, it's so fun, this kind of like old school cars and palm trees. I just think this just makes me so happy. I don't know. It's so fun. Oh, it's on your wish list. Yes, it's a must, Linda. It's beautiful. It's so fun. So I used this one, and then I used this kind of green. It almost looks like a weave, kind of like our coastal weave embossing folder. So those are the 2 ones that I used here. For my card tonight, because I kind of wanted to draw out more of the pink, I'm going to use the, oh, that's not the one I wanted. Oh, what did I do with that one? I may have to cut it again. Oh, I know why. Okay, here we go. I originally was going to use this one, but the flowers were sideways. So then I cut it again. So I'm using the hibiscus ones. That is just has a lot more of the pinks in it. Very bright and kind of vibrant. And then I'm going to use that same green opposite it. These are both cut at 1 inch. Although my sample one I did cut at 3/4. So I'm going to trim this down. I just realized that. So the bigger one, the hibiscus one, is 1 inch. And this guy here is 3/4. And I'm going to trim them down to, let's see here, like 4 inches. And then I'm going to make the banners from there. So for my banners, everybody does their own banners. I kind of like a narrow banner. So I go in the middle, and then I go from there it is. One end in, flip it. And then one end, ooh, those are hard to see. So you almost guaranteed a perfect banner that way. Oop, come on. So same thing, I go, which way, this one, okay. Into the middle, and then into from one corner, flip it, and then in from the other corner. And that should guarantee you a perfect banner. I like a narrow banner. Some like bigger banners, but I kind of like them on the shallow side. This guy I'm going to trim just a little bit more because I want him a little shorter. Nothing like doing it in the moment. This guy I'm going to adhere down with my liquid glue again, just because now it's touching that embossing folder that has all the texture on it. So I usually don't use liquid glue that much, I'm not going to lie. I love my snail and I love my tear and tape. Hi, Judy. Good evening. Hi, Sandra. Thanks, everyone, for joining me tonight. So this guy's going to go, he's kind of hanging off my Sahara sand there. It's just, you know, he's going over just a little bit. And then this one's going to layer sort of over that one. Like so. Okay. And then, hold on. We're going to use our super full of texture ribbon. And for that one, we are going to need, oh, where is that? There it is. Tear and tape. So this is braided burlap ribbon. It's super stiff, super thick. Let's see here. I'll tell you how much I'm cutting in a second. This is about, it's like 3.5, just shy. And I'm gonna just run the edge against my finger to kind of break it up a little. I am challenged with liquid glue. I can't seem to use without making a mess. Yeah, it does seem to kind of grow. I will agree to that. Especially like if you're trying, well, I'm going to do it tonight and you're going to see I'm probably going to make a mess. If you're trying to do something small, layer something small. So this is that braided ribbon. I'm going to adhere it down with tear and tape because it has so much texture in it. It really needs something with like a little extra oomph. Snail definitely wouldn't cut it with this. So you're going to need something a little bit more stronger. Of course, yesterday too, there we go, had a hard time peeling it off. Okay, so hopefully I'm going straight here. It's always kind of hard. I kind of covered the seam and I only put the tear and tape kind of in the middle because I kind of like that these are kind of flapping in the wind. It just adds for texture, adds for depth in the card. I don't know. I like that. Some people might not, and then you would just, you know, glue it all down and be done with it. So let's move on to my pineapple here. So I already went ahead and again, I used the In the Tropics dies and I cut out bottom of a pineapple from Daffodil Delight cardstock. And then I cut out the top of the pineapple, the stem, I guess, in Pear Pizzazz ink. Now I wanted to add just a little bit of color, a little depth to it. So it just wasn't like a flat single color. So to do that, for the Daffodil Delight, I added Mango Melody. And for the stem here, I added Old Olive. So let's set that aside first. We'll do the pineapple. Okay, so Mango Melody, open it up, and you're gonna need a sponge dauber. I used one last week. These are great. I have to tell you, they're super cheap and you get a bunch of them in a package at once. And they're great. It's not like, I don't think they get ruined over time. I don't know. I've had mine for a while and they haven't gotten ruined yet. So fingers crossed. So all I'm going to do, and I just want to add color. I don't want to cover the whole thing in color. I just kind of want to add some highlights kind of like to the tip of the V's. I guess is how I'd best to go about describing that. So I'm going to pick up color with my dauber here, and I'm going to kind of just rough up the edges here. And then, like, I have to warn you, your fingers are going to get messy. I kind of bent the paper back so that I would just kind of hit, these ones are harder because those V's aren't quite as big. Just touch the edge. But as you get up here, you can really just bend back the paper. I don't know if you can see that. So it's almost like just the tip is out. And then I'm kind of rubbing my sponge dauber across the edges. Again, I didn't really want color over everything. I just kind of wanted to add a depth, a layer to it. So it's very subtle. I think you can tell more in person for sure than maybe on camera. And I just kept going. Don't forget some. I almost forgot this whole line of pineapple. And you're not going to ruin the paper bending it like this because we're going to glue it down and it's all going to stay in place and be fine. The edges are the top and the bottom are definitely the hardest because you don't have anywhere to hold on to. You've run out of space. And then I'm going to sort of go along my edge too, like so. Like that. Okay, set that aside. Oh boy, I got little things all over my ink pad. I'll have to clean that later. So I guess when you're doing that, don't have your ink pad right next to it because you'll get little cardstock pieces on it. Oh, thanks, Roz. Oh, I'm glad you can see it. I know it is definitely subtle, but you can see it. So next what I did is I wanted to layer a piece of Daffodil Delight underneath it. Because if not, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you'd have a see-through pineapple. And I didn't want that. You could do that, but I didn't want that. You can do this a couple ways. You can put the cardstock down, trace it, and then cut it. But honest to goodness, the thing that I find that's easiest when I am looking to cut out, like in years past, let's say you have a die cut village and you want to put like windows in it or something. The easiest way I find, hold on, I got to trim this a little bit. Trim your cardstock so you're not working with too much. And then I just hold the die cut image over the cardstock I'm looking to cut out. I'm sorry, am I off camera here? I'm not even paying attention. And I just hold it and cut. Now, be careful. You have to have a steady hand because you don't want to accidentally cut whatever you're trying to layer with. You were playing with yours this week. Nice. So you go all the way around. And you could also like hold that down with some washi tape if you feel like maybe you might be tempted. Not tempted, but you know, if your hand moves. So almost around. And then, I did that on purpose, and then if you hold it and you're like, oh, this little piece under here is showing, you just can do like a little trim. Like there's a little bit up here. This is what I find it's easier. I feel like if you trace it with a pencil, sometimes it's hard to get the exact shape. It's just tricky. I don't know. That's what I do. And then I'm going to adhere that down with my liquid glue again. So this is where less is more. Now, you don't have to cover the whole thing with glue because this glue is pretty strong. It'll hold it down. So just kind of, I focus on the edges. Not even like necessarily all of them, but enough. And then like a few drops, dots in there. Now, when I put it down, it will smear a little bit. It always will. I don't know. I haven't found a way of not smearing it. And then I layer it down. Now, the liquid glue is nice because it gives you time to kind of push it around a little bit. Sorry, that was bothering me. Okay, and there we have our pineapple. Again, with the shading. And then because you've layered underneath it, it naturally gives a shade anyways, which is kind of fun. Just give it a little bit of a haircut. Just be careful not to cut the actual pineapple or whatever you might be layering. Okay, so this guy, so with the pineapple, all these little pieces pop out. With the stem, it kind of goes 3D. So we have these bits that kind of come up. So just be careful. This one's kind of on the edge, so you got to be careful. I just sort of fan them up, curling them with my fingers. I didn't use the bone folder because, again, it's so small. I feel like if you were to use a bone folder, it would just kind of rip them off. The green I'm layering with Old Olive here, again with my sponge. Now the green, I don't know. I feel like the Mango Melody was definitely, actually maybe I'll use Pear Pizzazz because it was very, oh, I'm going to change it because it was very dark on there and I didn't quite want it so pronounced. Okay, we're going to try something. Of course, I don't have a Pear Pizzazz dauber. We're just going to use my Old Olive. Shh, don't tell anyone. Hopefully I don't completely botch this. Okay. So I'm going to use, I cut out Pear Pizzazz cardstock. I'm just going to use Pear Pizzazz. Oh yeah, I like that better. Pear Pizzazz ink. And again, I'm folding it back kind of as I'm coloring the little bits that stick out. Of course, it's nearly impossible to completely stay just on those bits. That's okay. And this little guy down here. And then I wanted to do the edges of the spikes. You could also use a straight up sponge, but I feel like you have a little bit more control with the sponge daubers. But ooh, I almost ripped that one. You got to be careful. Note to self, go slow. I want that little guy. There we go. Okay, so there's our pineapple stem. So I ended up doing it in Pear Pizzazz. Pear Pizzazz and on Pear Pizzazz. That's a complete tongue twister. Okay, so something I was thinking of doing, I don't know, I could leave it as is. Okay, so I'm not gonna do the aloha. I'm gonna stamp hello, but I was playing with literally 15 minutes before I went live because why not, about maybe offsetting the pineapple just a little bit to the right and maybe adding like a Hawaiian flower and slash or leaf. What do you guys think? I literally like 15 minutes, I was scrambling like, oh, I think I want to add a flower. Can I do it? Do I like it? So I figured I'd make kind of a sample, and then I don't know if I like the leaf. Do you guys like that? What do you think? Should I add the flower? If so, I'll show you how I did it. I'm not sure I love the leaf because it kind of, too much, Heather, you think? Okay. I don't know. I'm like, this one's kind of plain and maybe it needs like a little something. I'd like it in the lower left corner. Lower left, like down there. Okay, let me do the sentiment. And then maybe based on that, you'll be like, no, way too much. Or maybe you'll be like, yeah, add it. So I'm switching it up. Let me tell you how I did mine. So with the aloha, what I did is I used the same dies, the In the Tropics dies, and I cut out the aloha 3 times. And then I just layered them one on another. That's how you get more of like a bolder image if you are cutting out words. I rarely just cut out one word and hear it. I usually layer it with 2 or sometimes 3. In this case, it was 3, especially like this aloha because it is kind of a smaller word. You know, it doesn't take up like a big space, that in order for it to really pop off the card, I feel like you have to do multiples. So this was cut out of lovely lipstick cardstock. I cut out 3, adhered one over the other, and then with the liquid glue, and then just adhered it over the pineapple. Add the flower. Hold on. Add the flower. I feel like I'm going to hit a button. Add the flower, yes, flower. Oh, okay. You guys may have gotten outvoted about the flower. Maybe I won't do the leaf. I do kind of like it though. Who said to put it in the left-hand corner? Bottom left-hand corner. I do like that. We'll see. Let me do the sentiment. I'm kind of winging it here. I normally don't like winging it. It's not usually my style, but I don't know. I felt like trying something. Okay, so I'm going to stamp the hello. Beautiful cursive, what's that word? Script. There we go. In the lovely lipstick. Now, I want to get a feel for, I usually do this if it's straight or not. So I stamp it as if I think it would be straight. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So I think I'm going to stamp it. Should I stamp the bottom or the top? Bottom. Okay. In that lovely lipstick. Oh, how pretty is that? Oh, I love a good like hello or thinking of you. You're probably sick of me hearing it or saying it. I say it so many times. I agree, no leaf, but I do like the flower. Okay, that's the way I'm leaning, Amy. I think the leaf kind of competes with my stem here. But I kind of like the flower. Okay, hold on. Let me cut this out. I wasn't exactly sure what size cardstock I was going to need, so I didn't cut it out ahead of time. But it ends up being, well, almost, exactly 1 inch high. So let's just play here for a second. I got to trim that. I don't like to, do you guys small little things, do you guys just snip it with snips? I'm always afraid, even like that little bit, even though it's just a 1/2 inch, I'm always afraid that I'm going to snip crooked. Because my DSP, my designer series paper, was cut in the banner, I'm going to cut my sentiment in the banner too. So I could have the sentiment up there and the flower down below, or I could keep that centered with the flower and have the word up there. What do we think? What do we think? Yes, snip it. You do. Just free hand it, huh? Even something. I feel like I've done it and it's like, even though it's so small, sometimes I can't even get that straight. Okay. I think either way, my pineapple is going to stay straight. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere it down. I'm actually not going to put my dimensionals on my pineapple because I have to go around my burlap braid here. So let me just get a feel. Do I need another one? Yes, one more at the top though. Heather says that's better. What do you like, Heather? You like it down in the corner? I forget who was the one that said down in the corner. Was it you? Someone said it. It was a great idea. Okay, so my pineapple. I believe these little indentations go in the shape of a V. I was trying to think, like, does it go that way? It didn't look right. I think they're supposed to go this way. So here we go. You know what? I didn't test. Does that fit? Okay. Woo! So that would go down, and then let's do no freehand, can cut straight to save my life. Yes, Heather, I'm the same way. Even if it's like the tiniest little bit, I have to use a trimmer. I'm hopeless. So the stem here, I'm using the liquid glue again. Just be careful. You don't want to glue down any of the little bits that are sticking up. So I'm just kind of sticking to the spikes. Not me, but the flower in the corner, the sentiment off to the right. Okay. So this one, I'm not using the dimensionals. I kind of have it, the stem that is, have it tucked in a little bit into the pineapple. And so we think, whoop, come on. Flower to the right. I do like the flower to the bottom right. I'm going to have to scroll back to see who said that. And then sentiment off to the right. Yes. Are we good? I'm going to do it because I like it. Okay, so I'm going to put adhesive on some of it and then a dimensional on one end because part of it does kind of off-hang a little bit and I want the off-hang bit to be secure. So we're going to go, okay, we're going to go with that. And then the same thing for my hello, except I need a mini dimensional, which I don't have readily out. So I'm going to put adhesive on the inner part and then grab a mini dimensional so that little bit at the end is secured. It's not dangling off. So just make sure we're straight. I almost want to trim it just a little. Well, I think I'm committed. Is it too big? I think I'm committed. Okay, I'm pushing it down. It is what it is. I'm committed. I was like, should I trim it a little bit? Oh, well. I like that. The question is, do you like the Daffodil Delight one? Oh, by the way, this was Pool Party. The card base to this one was Pool Party. Or the Pool Party one. I don't know. They're kind of different. They're similar, but different. Wow, another yellow card 2 weeks in a row. I'm on a roll, I guess. I don't know what's going on around here. So if you've been watching and you haven't yet left a comment, please do so for a chance to win tonight's card. You can tell me which one you'd like, whoever wins. Also, keep in mind that I do have a promotion still running for a couple more days until Saturday. With any purchase of $50 or more, you get a free $9 item from me, as well as a free package of cardstock. Again, that is running through February 29th. Go ahead and place your orders and then let me know what you'd like and I'll order everything up for you. So keep in mind that that's going on. Thank you everyone for watching tonight. I so appreciate it. Please let me know if you have any questions and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.